Do you want a reverse mortgage? Do you need one? There are plenty of myths and misinformation out there. Who can you trust? Norman Williams. He's one of only 2 registered financial consultants in the state of Texas who is also a reverse mortgage broker. Norm, along with assistant Fred Wells, will be with you every step of the way as you navigate the process of getting a reverse mortgage. Listen now as Norman discusses the latest changes and dispels the myths about reverse mortgages that will help you get to where you want to go. It's the Reverse Mortgage Hour. Here's Norm and Fred.
Hey, folks. My name is Norm Williams, and Fred Wells is here with me in the studio, and we're here every week talking about how to use a reverse mortgage in your retirement planning. Okay? And to get to talk to us or ask us about a reverse mortgage or how they work or any type of retirement needs that you might have, all you got to do is pick up that phone, call toll free at 877-528-4429. That's 877-528-4429. Or you can go to seniorreversemortgageservices.com. That's our website. Has lots of good information on there, and it shows you. We got pictures of the Alamo, the Blue Bonnets, and that really represents we're Texans helping Texans. We're a Texas corporation, and we work all over Texas helping folks put together their retirement plan. And one of the tools that we use is a reverse mortgage. And before we get started on the show, some of you want to have a pencil and paper handy, or so you can call the office and book I got workshops coming up. We got one on the 23rd, that's a Thursday, July 23rd, and we got one on July 28th, that's a Tuesday, and that's going to be in Hurst. So you need to call the station or call our office at 877-528-4429 to book your seat. We only allow room for 30 people each night, so we have a good sized crowd, but yet not so big that it squashes everybody out of the room, so to speak. And it'll run from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So if you want to get in early on that and make sure you get a receipt for you and your spouse or a friend, be sure and give us a call at that 877-528-4429. And besides the reverse mortgage, we're going to be talking about Social Security. When's the right time to take it? How to get 32% more out of your Social Security check? Strategies for divorced and individuals and widowers, and how to eliminate, reduce taxes on your Social Security. We'll talk about reverse mortgages also, and other retirement options we'll talk about, and probate issues and long-term care issues. So that. Put together a pretty good program. Isn't that right, Fred?
Yeah, if you're getting up in age, if you're a senior, you really ought to sit in on one of these seminars. It's free. It's advice that some people pay a great deal of money to try to get. Norman knows Social Security. He knows Medicare. He knows what happens if you get into a bankruptcy situation. He can tell you what to do if you've got money in IRAs or markets and you're having to take that mandatory withdrawals now that you have to at 70.5. If you're finding, like a lot of people, when they look at getting ready to retirement, they'll go, oh my, I don't think I can retire. I don't think I got enough money. Or they're already retired and they're saying, at the end of the month, I'm running out of money and I really don't have money left there and I'm worried about it. If you're a spouse out there and you're wondering if something happens to your other half, how am I going to live? Can I keep this house and things? Come to those seminars. Talk to Norman, and he will give you straightforward answers. He'll show you a path how to have a better retirement and how to have a stress-free retirement. And one of the tools he uses that helps so many people is a reverse mortgage. We don't say the program's for everybody. When we talk to you, we'll tell you in a hurry that there may be better solutions for you than a reverse mortgage, but I'll tell you, probably 7 to 9% of the people I talk to, I tell them a reverse mortgage is not the best thing for them. But the others, it helps them. And folks, it doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. It doesn't matter if I've done them on $1 million homes, I've done them on $50,000 homes. It's all about what it does for you. And we're going to explain a reverse mortgage later in the program. We're going to tell you how it works, the mechanics of it. We're even going to give you examples of what it's done for some people. But think about that seminar and think about calling us for information. We'll give you information about reverse mortgages over the phone. If you've got a family member or a neighbor or a church member that you think could benefit from a reverse mortgage, tell them about us. You call us, have them call us at 877-528-4429 and let us give you the information. Then you can make an informed decision. Wouldn't it be good to know how much money you can actually get, how you can pay off your bills, and how you and your spouse can have a better retirement? And it's not going to cost you a dime. So call us at 877-528-4429.
Yeah, you know, Fred, a lot of baby boomers are thinking about retiring. Some of them are going to be retiring with pensions, and they're still going to have debt. And usually the biggest debt that they're going to have are two things. That's the house payment and a car payment. Folks, you don't have to do that. You need to pick up that phone and call us and start learning how that reverse mortgage can actually get that house paid off now. And instead of putting that money into the house every month, put it into your 401k. Take that $800, $1,000 a month you were paying on that mortgage and put it into your 401k or 403b or the 457. Any of the retirement plans that you, through a savings plan if you're a federal employee. You know, so even if you're a boomer and you're going to have a pension, which, by the way, there's not very many people that have pensions anymore.
Nope, it's shrinking.
But if you are one that has that, if you work for a company long enough that had a pension, you don't want to retire and then start drawing Social Security and get that pension and still make a house payment because you're not going to be ahead.
Add up how much money you're going to get from your pension and your Social Security, and then say to myself, if I still have to make that $800 a month, that $1,000 a month, $1,600 a month house payment for the next 10, 15 years, that's going to put a drain on me. Think about, we can wipe that house payment out. You'll still own the house. Only your name is on the title, no bank's name. Your kids will still inherit the house. All of the money you're going to get from a reverse mortgage is tax-free. There's no strings tied to it. You can use it to buy that new truck. You can use it to fix up the house. You can use it to take a trip. You can use it to help the kids. But folks, one thing we guarantee you, and the Wall Street Journal has said it, if you're rich or poor, a reverse mortgage can help you have a better retirement. For the savvy folks out there, the people that are used to dealing with money and things, it's just another tool to plan a better retirement. There's 5,000 people, folks, a month doing reverse mortgages nationwide. They know something you don't. There's attorneys doing it. There's doctors doing it. There's CPAs doing it. You need to call and find out what it would do for you. Then you can discuss it with your other half and decide if it's a program that you're interested in. Think about it, but don't put it off. Call us at 877-528-4429 and let us help you.
Yeah, and this is there's no guarantee that this program will be around, 5, 10, 15 years from now, as more and more baby boomers retire. So if you've been thinking about doing this, Fred, all you got to do is look and see what the news is saying about Greece.
Oh, I know.
What it's been saying about Puerto Rico. They're both bankrupt. Portugal's bankrupt. Spain's bankrupt. Italy's on the verge of bankruptcy. And people say, well, we live in the U.S. What does that have to do with us? And Fred, what would you say to that?
Well, here's a sad fact. Norman is a financial advisor, and he's a trusted financial advisor. He's also a certified senior advisor, so he helps seniors. One of the things that Norman knows, I know, and anybody that's in the financial industry knows, for the past 10 or 15 years, more and more of our investment money from this country has gone overseas. It's gone to Greece. It's gone to Italy. It's gone to Spain. Just like the jobs that went to China and India. Folks, the fact that we're doing better in this country now, the fact that employment is improving, the fact that we've cut some debt, etc., and we seem to be doing some right things, All it takes is Greece to go bankrupt. All it takes is for a war in the Ukraine or someplace, and it has terrible effects on us. So what Norman is saying is true about the future for a reverse mortgage or anything else. You know, Mr. Reagan, when he was president, put the reverse mortgage program into place 33 years ago to try to help people have a better retirement and not have to rely on funds from their kids or from the government. Folks, it's been a wonderful program, and it may be here for another 10, 20, 30 years. We don't know. But as the economy gets tough, when things happen overseas that affect us, when housing right now has been going up and it's a great time, we don't know what the housing market's going to do in the future. It may take a tumble. We just don't know. And all of that could affect the availability of this plan, because the folks we elect in Congress, they turn this tap on and they turn it off, and we don't know what they're going to do in the future as the economy turns. But I wish personally that a lot of the money that we had invested overseas, we had invested in this country, creating jobs, infrastructure, etc. I think we'd be better off. But things are what they are. And a lot of money's been invested overseas, and if that money gets in trouble, it's going to affect companies here. And when companies get in trouble here, our jobs get in trouble. So think about that. Now is a good time to take advantage of this program. And if you do this, and let's say the program went away, or let's say the economy turned down, or let's say housing loss turned down, it doesn't affect the money you're going to get off this program by doing it now. So call us at 877-528-4429.
You know, Fred, reverse mortgages are a smart retirement tool for those who really qualify. And we do a lot of pre-counseling and qualifying of somebody. Probably somewhere between 7 to 10% of the folks that we talk to just don't qualify. They for a host of reasons, they don't have enough income to support the taxes and insurance. Maybe the house is too big to maintain for one person who's now up in their mid-80s or something. They're getting older. So we take all that into consideration when we're trying to help somebody, because that's really what we're trying to do, is help you with a handout. And, you know, could you increase in monthly income? Would you like to eliminate that mortgage debt? You know, the comfort of having a standby cash reserve, because we can set up cash reserves.
Would you like to have more money in retirement than you do now?
Oh, yeah. Fund home repairs. Maybe you needed a foundation repair. Maybe you need a new roof on. And you don't want any monthly payments. And so if you don't want any monthly payments, you need to talk to us about a reverse, or if a reverse will fit you. And call that number at 877-528-4429. Now, we're going to take a quick break for the cause, because Fred says he needs a break.
I need a break.
You know, I've heard that if you get a reverse mortgage, your heirs will owe the bank after you've passed. Is that true? I don't want my kids to be left with that kind of debt after I'm gone.
Once again, another myth. That is not true. With a reverse mortgage, if the loan grows beyond the value of the property, FHA assumes responsibility for the deficit. A reverse mortgage is a non-recourse loan. That means if the property is sold to pay off the loan after the homeowner passes away or decides to move out of the home for other reasons, there will be no mortgage debt for the heirs to repay. The maximum amount owed would be the current market value of that house. If the heirs wish to keep the home, they would pay off the balance in full to the reverse mortgage lender. Another myth busted. To learn more about all the wonderful benefits of a reverse mortgage, give Norm Williams a call at 877-528-4429.
Norman, ooh.
Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Reverse Mortgage Hour. I'm Norm Williams, and with me today is Fred Wells, and we're talking about financial planning and how to use reverse mortgages. And we're one of the few planners in this whole state of Texas that actually uses reverse mortgages.
That's true. A lot of them don't seem to understand it, even though the Wall Street Journal, even though most financial papers out there now, economists, are telling people it's one of the tools you should use in retirement planning.
Absolutely. And remember, we got that workshop that's going to be coming up. It's July 23rd and July 28th. Call the office at 877-528-4429. And this will cover all kinds of subject matters, including reverse mortgages, Social Security, retirement planning. And we'll answer questions at the workshop for you also, won't we, Fred?
Absolutely. We're not going to get into details about your own personal finance, but we will answer questions, and you will set up appointments if you want to call Norm or meet with Norm one-on-one to go over your personal things. Folks, I want to talk to some of you out there. Do you wish you could retire and you can't? You've looked at your situation, you say, I've still got a house payment, I still got car payments, and maybe we've got an equity loan out there. Well, folks, you can do a reverse mortgage, pay those things off, then you can retire. Because with a reverse mortgage, there are no payments. You don't repay the money every month, every year, until you decide to sell the house or your heirs sell the house after you've passed on. Then it's paid back out of the sale of the house, and the net from that sale still goes to your heirs or goes to you if you want to move on to another house. And that's another situation we got. In the state of Texas now, there's a reverse mortgage for purchase. So if you're thinking about downsizing from that great big two-story house that you raised the kids in, or you'd like a house a little newer, or maybe you want to go into a condo, or you want to go into, say, a neighborhood that's got a neighborhood pool or something, we can do a reverse mortgage for purchase for you on that new house, and you can move into it and not have any payments in that new house. You can find out all about that by calling 877-528-4429. Give us a call. It costs you nothing. You're committed to not to do anything. We just give you the information.
Well, let's talk about what the basics of a reverse mortgage are, Fred. So there are listeners out there. We always got new listeners. So the reverse mortgage basics, it's a HUD and FHA insured program. It's a way to tap into the equity of your home. And with getting that advance of equity, you can get it several different ways, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Here's the big point. They are no house payments with a reverse mortgage.
Zero.
That's the reason why I did a reverse mortgage 5 years ago, and would do it again. It made perfect sense when I turned 62 to free up all that equity. And who knows? The government keeps changing the Social Security programs, the Medicare programs, all these kind of programs. They keep making changes to the reverse mortgage programs too.
We never know in the future what's going to be there.
So while it's available, you certainly want to take advantage of it. So if there's no payments with a reverse mortgage, how does it get paid back? Well, if you sell the home, then the title company is going to pay off the mortgage from the proceeds, and you get the rest of the equity. If the borrowers pass away, then it goes through probate, the house gets sold, and then the proceeds from that pays back the loan. If the loan if you're short, if the house is short, then FHA is going to use their insurance policy to cover that and take care of the bank. So, and so you don't. The other thing is, this is not considered income. It's non-taxable money. This will not affect your Social Security. It will not affect your Medicare. All rates and interest and fees are reviewed and set by HUD. Homeowners must pay an annual property tax and your property insurance and maintain your home.
But you do that whether you do a reverse mortgage or not. So there's no additional cost after you do a reverse mortgage.
No.
Folks, I'll tell you how you're going to qualify. In the state of Texas, to qualify, you and your partner both must be 62 or over. That doesn't mean one of you can be 59. it means both of you have to be at least 62. Now, one of you can be 62 and the other one can be 110, and we can do this program. But you both have to be 62. The home must be your primary resident, not necessarily the only property you own. We have people that own apartment complexes. We have people that own farms and ranches and or have rental homes. But we can do the reverse mortgage on the home that you live in. That's your primary residence. All borrowers to do this program are required to receive over-the-phone counseling from an independent HUD counseling. So after you talk to us, we give you a list of HUD counselors to call on the phone. They independently talk to you without us being there and also explain the program. There is a financial review now required with reverse mortgages, and they just want to make sure that you have enough wherewithal to pay future property taxes and maintain your home insurance. The house can be free and clear, meaning you can have no mortgage on it now, or you can have a mortgage and we can still do a reverse mortgage. Folks, it's not hard to qualify for this. You both just have to be 62 and over. How much money can they get, Norm?
Well, the amount of money that is determined by HUD and FHA, they're going to give you a percentage of that home, and that's based upon the age of the youngest borrower. Okay, so the older you are, the more they're going to allow. And the way to keep getting annual increases on that is a line of credit. So we'll talk about that also. So the age of the youngest borrower, the value that is determined by the FHA appraiser, and the current interest rate. Those three things are going to trigger the amount of money that you're going to get at first. And if you do, like I said, the line of credit, why don't you tell them how that line of credit works?
Well, the good thing is, I did, for instance, a house the other day. They got $100,000 out of it, and he says, I really don't need the money right now. So we put it in the line of credit. Well, that line of credit grows tax-free at 3.68%. Folks, your credit union, your bank isn't paying you 3.68. Take a look at your statement. So he knows his money is going to keep growing and compounding. And if he needs that money for any reason, if he says, next month I want 1,000 or I want 10,000, he has a number and he has a fax. He simply faxes off a little form or makes a phone call, and they electronically deposit whatever he asked for in his account. The rest of that money will continue to grow tax-free in that line of credit till he needs it. And if he never needs it, if it stays in there till he passes on, guess what? That goes to the heirs too. Now, you can take your money at closing in a lump sum. You can take it in that line of credit. You can even get a monthly check for life. Or guess what, folks? You can get a combination. I had a gentleman the other day said, I want you to pay off my mortgage. We paid off his mortgage. He says, I want $10,000 in cash at closing, and I want the rest in the line of credit. And we were able to do that for him. Folks, the great thing about this program, when Mr. Reagan set it in place years ago, is it's flexible enough we can customize it to meet whatever your needs are. I know we're throwing a lot of data at you, and you'll be people out there that don't understand the program and are scared of it, but there's 4 things you need to remember. What are they, Norm?
You never, ever make a house payment. Ever again. You never come off the titles. The home is still your home. You never owe more than what the home is worth, and you never pass debt on to the heirs. That's that non-recourse loan. So if that house is worth $150,000 or $500,000 when you do a reverse mortgage, and it loses 25% of its value over your life expectancy. So if you live to the ripe old age of 100, there may not be the equity in there that once was.
That's right.
And if that's the case, then FHA is going to step up and write a check and pay off the bank the remainder. So if
your heirs will never have to.
That's right. Your heirs will never have to do that. So to find out more about that, you really need to pick up the phone and call 877-528-4600. 877-528-4429. That's 877-528-4429.
I had a lady ask me a great question the other day. Her and her husband were signing the application on a reverse mortgage, and she says, well, she said, we're getting more money than we thought because here in Texas, we're very fortunate. Our houses have gone up in value the last few years. She says, we're going to get a nice chunk of money. We're going to take some cash. We're going to take a vacation. We're going to put the rest in that line of credit. But she says, Mr. Wells, she says, what happens if 5 years from now or 10 years from now, that house value plummets? Say the economy goes down. She says, are we going to have to give back some of this money, or how's it going to affect us? And I said, if their house value later falls, as long as you continue to live in that house, it has no effect. Nobody's asking for the money back that they gave you, etc. Folks, you don't need to worry about that. That's one of the great things. When you do a reverse mortgage, you can live in comfort and without stress and know you can enjoy your retirement. I want to ask people a question out there. Do you need more money to live on? Or maybe you need money to invest in your business? Well, there's several ways you can get that. Let me explore them. One, you can take another job. Feel like doing that?
Really, I want another job.
And you're going to pay more taxes. Folks, you could take the money out of your saving. But if you do that, you don't have any cushion in case something happens. You can borrow the money. There are banks out there, or God help you, a credit card that you can charge it on if that's what you want to do. But now you're going to pay a horrible interest rate and you're going to make monthly payments. There's a fourth option. You can do a reverse mortgage. You don't pay out of your pocket. You don't have any monthly payments. You don't have to repay that money as long as you continue to live in that home. But if you decided 5 years, 10 years down the road to sell the house and move, you still can. And guess what? All of the money you get from reverse mortgage is tax-free, so there's no tax consequences to doing this. Now, of the four places you can go and get additional money, tell me why you wouldn't want to do a reverse mortgage. Think about that, folks. Call 877-528-4429 and find out what the program can do for you.
Well, Fred, we're at a good spot to take another break, and when we get back, we're going to tell you the few things that the FHA and HUD requires to get started to do that reverse mortgage.
KAAM's reverse mortgage expert, Norman Williams, is one of only 2 registered financial consultants in the entire state of Texas who is also a reverse mortgage broker. This combination gives Norm a unique perspective because he can best advise you about exactly how a reverse mortgage fits into your overall financial plan. That's why Norm is the right person to contact when you have questions about getting a reverse mortgage or about making the most of your cash flow. Along with a host of additional accreditations and years of experience, Norm will steer you wisely into whatever financial direction you want to go. You have a myriad of choices you can make as you're planning your retirement, but how do you get from point A to point B? Is a reverse mortgage your best option? Would there be a better solution for your situation? Very few are as capable as Norm when creating that roadmap to retirement. One of 2 Texas reverse mortgage brokers that is also a registered financial consultant. You've worked hard to make that nest egg. Protect it. Call KAAM's Norman Williams so your money will last through your whole retirement. 877-528-4429 is Norm's number.
The best things in life are free.
Hey, folks, we're back. And that's right. The best things in life are free. And you're listening to some good free advice every Wednesday from 3 to 4 o'clock. We're trying to help you hold your hand through preparing for that retirement years. And even if you've already retired, you know, you need to be still planning. And if you're a married couple out there, this is one thing that I tell everybody. You need to sit down at that kitchen table this weekend with a cup of coffee and whatever. Have a frank conversation about the situation where you might one of the spouses might pass away. How are you going to survive after you lose a Social Security check? Because you won't get 2 Social Security checks.
Not when one of you passes away.
And you may not get all or most of the pension check if there is a pension. So, as we promised before the break, we're going to talk about the few things that the FHA and HUD requires of us to get you prepared to do a reverse mortgage. The very, very, very first thing is we need to set you up with a counseling third-party reverse mortgage counselor. That's to get the counseling certificate that approves you have been properly counseled, and FHA and HUD wants that to take place. And we're all supportive of that. We'll counsel with you, but they want that certificate showing that you've understand the program. Second, we need color photocopies of your driver's license and Social Security card. Uncle Sam wants to make sure there's no money laundering or there's no fraudulent transactions taking place, and that's one way that they do that. Third, need a copy of your most recent property tax statement and homeowner's insurance bill to make sure that they've been paid. If they've not been paid, we can help you get them paid. Okay, that's part of the reason to do the reverse. And maybe you've lost a spouse and now you're ready to do a reverse mortgage. If that's the case, we're going to need a copy of the probated will, and we're going to need a copy of the death certificate. Oh, you didn't probate the will, you say. Well, that's okay. Our title attorney is very, very good at handling that form of probate and getting that thing done so you can get a new mortgage on the house with a reverse mortgage. And oh, by the way, if you any kind of transaction, if you went to the bank to put the house up for collateral, or if you try to do a refinance, they all will want a death certificate and a copy of the will that's been probated. And if you're still making house payments, we'll need the name, address, and account numbers for that mortgage debt from that mortgage company.
So we can pay it off for you.
Yeah, we're going to pay it off. And you know what? That's the happiest folks that we normally see.
I've had people cry at closings. They're so happy.
Yeah. You know, folks, it's nothing like getting rid of that house payment.
No. You know, folks, we get a lot of great calls from the 770 listeners. They call 877-528-4429, and we're able to help a great deal of them. A lot of times they're calling for themselves or they're calling for a family member. We also get referrals from a growing number of CPAs and some other financial advisors that when they're doing the tax prep or they're looking at their clients, they realize they don't have sufficient money to really enjoy their retirement and be safe. And while they may not do a reverse mortgage, they know we will help them. So, in fact, if you're working with another financial advisor or you're working with a CPA, tell them you want to talk to us about a reverse mortgage. We'll explain the program to them and you. Or if you have a family member that wants to know, we'll be happy to do that. Folks, bottom line is, don't procrastinate. Don't sit and worry about this. And for goodness sakes, if you're one of these people that is spending down your savings every month and you're watching yourself start going to run out of money, don't wait till you run out of money. Call us first, and we'll show you how to get access to new funds you didn't even know you were available to you.
That's true. That's true. And, hey, Fred, you know, Texas, this is the second year we're doing a reverse mortgage for purchase. We can actually now go out and buy a new home, an existing home, and we can do a reverse mortgage for purchase. So if you've been thinking about selling that big house to go to a smaller house, or you're thinking about selling that smaller house to go to a bigger house, we can now do that with a reverse mortgage. And here's really simply how it works. Let's just say you got a $400,000 house, and you sell it, and you want to go get a $200,000 house. Yep. You only have to put $100,000 down on that $200,000 house, and voila, you're in that house with no mortgage, no house payments. All you got is taxes and insurance, and you still have all that equity left from the sale of that other home. Does that sound like a pretty good deal, Fred?
It sounds like a heck of a deal. Folks, you will save hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. Think about it. You're in that new home or that newer home or that new condo, and you don't have to make those monthly mortgage checks. Think about that, folks. And when you pass on, guess what? That new condo or that newer home you moved into, it still goes to your heirs, because when you do a reverse mortgage, nobody's name is on that title except yours. The bank's name is not on there. The government's name is not in there. What a reverse mortgage does legally, for you legals out there, it puts a no payment lien against the property so that when the property is sold, then it's paid back out of the sale. It's as simple as that. Folks, I know there's people out there that are thinking about fixing up their home. They want to update that kitchen. They need to replace a roof. They got to do some foundation work. There's several ways you can get the money from that. The first one that comes to mind, you can empty your savings and pay for it, because foundation work can be $10,000, $15,000. A new kitchen can be pretty darn expensive too. Or you could go out and get an equity loan. Now, if you do that, you're going to make monthly payments. You could charge it on a credit card, and I hope you don't do that. Or you could do a reverse mortgage, and we'll give you the money to fix up that home. You'll have zero out of pocket. You won't have any payments. And you usually gain more cash from the program than you need to fix the house up. And guess what? That's put in that line of credit or a savings account for you that's going to continue to grow. And it's all tax-free. Why would you go borrow money, go to do anything else other than a reverse mortgage? The only reason I can think of is because you're not 62 yet. And we do get calls every week from people that haven't turned 62 and ask if when can they start on the program. And the truth is, they can start on it about 30 days before their birthday.
You know, Fred, a recent study on home equity in the U.S., and we would certainly recommend using that home equity wisely. But Americans right now are sitting on $4.3 trillion of equity.
And tied up in their homes.
It's tied up, $4.3 trillion. Just think what that could do for individuals out there as far as their lifestyle and the changes that it would have in that lifestyle for them. So, folks, you know, there's no reason to do without that vacation that you want. Maybe you've always wanted to take a cruise. Maybe you need a newer car. Doesn't have to be brand new. Maybe a 1 or 2 year old car.
A different car.
Low mileage. You know, you're still driving that 1997 Lincoln Town Car. Trust me, there's been a lot of advances in cars since 1997. You know, and granted, you may only have 50,000 miles on it, but the new cars have those little cameras in the front and the back, so when you're backing up, you can see the car behind you.
It helps.
It helps a whole bunch. Makes driving a whole lot more pleasant. And that all comes from our help working with you through the development of the math and science. And what is the science? That's longevity. We don't talk about that enough, but the biggest problem with people today is they can't envision their longevity. And the longer you live, the more it's going to trigger the cost of living, right?
Costs are going up, folks. And if you live an extra 10 years longer than you think you're going to,
do you really
better
want to run
have
out
the
of
money for that.
Yeah, you don't want to run out of money. So we want to help you secure a guaranteed retirement income. We want to protect your savings from inflation. And if you need to think about doing that home equity, we can help you do that.
Absolutely, folks. Before you think about borrowing money from anywhere that you need, if you're retired or getting ready to retire, think about talking to us and do a reverse mortgage. Keep your debt load down when you're retired or you're getting ready to retire. The people that live the best have no debts in retirement. They're not making car payments. They're not making house payments. They're not paying off equity loans. And a reverse mortgage can put you in that position.
Sure can. And, one of the things that you can do, let's just say for argument's sake that you might, your house is paid for, you feel like you're pretty financially concerned, but you don't have enough cash flow if one of you passes away.
Or if something goes wrong and you need to replace that roof.
Okay. But the big expense is if somebody passes on and we lose that Social Security or pension. You know what? If you did the reverse and took that money, you could buy a life insurance policy with that, and that's all tax-free money that you could leave the person.
Absolutely.
And you would still have the house to live in with no bills. So that's something that we've had clients do that. They've gone out and got a life insurance policy for them on that. And that, instead of having $100,000, they now have $300,000 they could leave their spouse.
That's right. And guys, Most of the women outlive us. And you've lived with that lady for years and years. You've worked hard. You'd like to enjoy a few years of retirement now with her. And you know that one of these days you're not going to be there. What kind of position are you going to leave her in? Is she going to have enough money to live on comfortably, etc.? A reverse mortgage can make sure she doesn't run out of money. Folks, call us at 877-528-4429. We'll explain the program on the phone to you. We'll give it to you in writing. If you're close, we'll meet with you. You can come in the office. We may even come to your home. If you're far, far away, we talk to hundreds of clients over the phone. We send them written material backing up what we said. It doesn't matter. We're here in Texas. We're not in New York. We're not in California. We understand the laws here. We understand community property laws and everything else. We will get you the most money. We will be with you each step of the way. And guess what, folks? You're never going to write us a check for even $1, and we will help you. Give us that call at 877-528-4429.
Hey, Fred, sometimes I like to say that income is the outcome of a successful retirement plan. So if you want more income, not just assets, but you guaranteed income for the rest of your life, you want to pick up that telephone then and give me a call at 877-528-4429. And if you can't pick up the phone, just remember this. Go to seniorreversemortgageservices.com. That's our website. Our phone numbers are there. Our emails are there. All you have to do is to get a hold of us and let us help you with your retirement planning. If you think that reverse mortgage is something that you'd like to learn more about, you there again, pick up the telephone, give us a call. We'll spend the time with you on the phone, in person. And we do that anywhere in Texas. We're a Texas company helping Texans. You don't have to pick up the phone and call Ohio or San Diego with like a lot of these TV ads that you see. You're calling out-of-state people who don't understand Texas homestead laws, which are very unique.
I'm not going to get to that. Talk to that movie star that's on there in that commercial in California.
Well, you got to pay for that movie star. You know that? Somebody's paying for it. And we don't have movie stars. We just got me and Fred and a bunch of other really good retirement specialists in the reverse mortgage arena.
I want to mention that website that Norman talked about. If you go to that, one of the things that I like every time I look at it, you can go to a series of testimonials on there. Folks, these are not actors. They're your neighbors. These are friends that live in your neighborhood that have done a reverse mortgage and consented to do a short video on there where you can hear them say what a reverse mortgage did from them. Folks, that website is a real good place to go, but also 877-528-4429. Whether you attend a seminar, whether you talk to Norman on the phone, whether you meet him in his office, or one of us comes to your house, you need to call us and find out what you're eligible for and how it works. And if you're not ready to do it now once you've got the information, that's fine. But now you know what your options are. Don't sit and procrastinate, and don't sit and wonder. And for goodness sakes, don't wait till you run out of money and then say, can you do something before the end of the month?
Say, oops, made a mistake. So we're going to take a quick break for the calls, and when we get back, we're going to talk about the biggest reverse mortgage myths that are out there, and we're going to dispel those for you so your neighbors can't spoof you.
I was told I won't be able to qualify for a reverse mortgage unless I own my home free and clear. Is that true?
Once again, you've been misinformed. Many borrowers are in fact getting a Norm Williams reverse mortgage specifically for this purpose, to pay off an existing mortgage with a reverse mortgage. Doing so immediately frees up your income, allowing you to use that important money for something else. Perhaps you have another debt to pay off, or you just want to supplement your income. Whatever the need, Norm Williams with Senior Reverse Mortgage Services will help you make that happen. Or maybe you just want to travel more frequently. You can do that too. Protect yourself and broaden your horizons at the same time. Call Norm today to find out how you can benefit from this great program. 877-528-4429. Senior Reverse Mortgage Services, Inc. is an equal opportunity lender. NMLS number 257913.
Norman, ooh, Norman.
Hell yeah. Sue Thompson made me famous back in 1962. Hey, folks, this is Norm Williams with the Reverse Mortgage Hour with Fred Wells. We're here talking about reverse mortgages, and this section we're going to talk about debunking the myths about reverse mortgages. And the first one everybody comes up with is that they're not going to own their home, that the bank's going to own it. The bank is not going to own your home. That's an absolute falsehood. It's like any other mortgage, except there's no house payment. The bank doesn't want to own it. There's just going to be a lien on it.
Well, a regular mortgage lists that mortgage company as a lender, and they hold the title. Guess what, folks? With a reverse mortgage, only your name is on the title. There's nobody holding it.
Yeah, just a lien is going to be just like any other lender.
Right.
Your heirs will owe the bank money when you die. No, that's not true. If the loan grows beyond the value of the property, FHA assumes the responsibility of the deficit. So your kids will never be on. I don't care if you're a multimillionaire. You never have to pay that loan back. The house has to pay the loan back.
And guess what, folks? If your kids inherit most of the houses we do on reverse mortgage, when they inherit it, they're going to put it on the market and sell it. The reverse mortgage is paid back out of the sale, and the kids get the net money out of the program, and that's tax-free.
That's true. They get the remaining equity. Number 3. Your home must be owned free and clear to qualify, and that's definitely a falsehood because you and I have been doing reverse mortgages now for most of the people we do them for have house payments.
That's right.
They want to retire. They can't with a house payment, so we're getting rid of that $800 or $1,000 plus a month house payment. So borrowers, we can pay off that current mortgage. You can use that money to fund your retirement plan, your IRA, your 401k, your thrift savings plan. It's just a great tool to put more money aside for your retirement. Now, money received is taxable, some people have been told. That is not true. The reverse mortgage proceeds are not considered income and are not taxable. Isn't that right, Fred?
Absolutely. The IRS has ruled on that years ago. Folks, this is a federal program. It's been around for 30-plus years. If you get $100,000, if you get $400,000 out of this program, it's not taxable, period. Not tax deferred like an IRA. Money from a reverse mortgage is not taxable, period.
Another falsehood about reverse mortgages, that it's going to affect your Medicare and Social Security negatively. It will not. It doesn't have anything to do with your Medicare or your Social Security. The reverse mortgage has zero, a big fat zero effect on your Social Security and Medicare. So you don't have to worry about that. You can start drawing, we don't recommend you start taking your Social Security at 62.
No.
Or 64 or 65. For most boomers out there, the age is 66. And we really try to encourage you we'll help show you ways to get you to 70 and make 32% more money. Would you much rather have a $2,000 check or a $3,000 check?
I'd rather have the 3, and a reverse mortgage will give me the cash to live on so I don't have to touch that Social Security till I get the maximum.
There you go. So item number 6 is about credit, and there are now credit checks, credit reports, just like a regular mortgage. That FHA felt like they needed to do. So do you have to have excellent credit? No.
No.
But they're going to check your credit score and make sure that you pay on time, that you're paying your property taxes, you're paying your homeowner's insurance, those kind of things. They want to make sure that your homeowners and your property taxes are paid. So that would show up on your credit report.
I did a reverse mortgage for a couple that had some bumps and bruises on their credit report. And guess what, folks? When we got rid of that $1,000 a month payment they did and put some tax-free cash in their bank account, their credit report looked better.
Looked a whole lot better. Closing costs are too expensive. There's the closing costs on every real estate transaction. You're not going to get away with whether you buying a house right out or doing a reverse mortgage. You're going to have closing costs.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to find a title company that's going to work for free. You're not going to find a mortgage company that's going to work for free.
These are no more expensive than any other FHA real estate transaction.
I know everybody likes the word free, but when it comes to doing a mortgage or paying the bills, I'm just like everybody else. I want to get paid for doing my job. Right, Fred?
Absolutely.
So, think about this. We talked about it a little bit earlier. How much monthly income will you require during retirement? Have you really sit down and done a budget, Fred? I mean, if you,
I have.
I have too. Have you accounted for inflation? I don't care if it's only 1 or 2%. You need to figure how much inflation that's going to affect. Here's another one. How much annual income is going to be lost due to the death of a spouse? And do you have enough funds to bury that spouse?
That's right.
On that, traditional funerals can be anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 nowadays, and that a lot of people may not have that. How many years can the surviving spouse, if you're the surviving spouse, pay expenses and out of your retirement funds before the retirement funds run out? Have you figured out how long? Have you divided that number?
Yeah, folks. Those of you that are fortunate enough to still get a pension, getting that monthly check every month for the rest of your life is golden. Don't let somebody talk you out of cashing that in and taking a lump sum out of it. It's not in your financial interest to do that. What Norman is telling you is really the facts, folks. You need to figure out how much money you're going to need to live another 10, 20, and some of you 30 more years. I do a lot of reverse mortgages in a county called Denton County here in Texas, and I found out that they have the most centennials, the most people living to be 100 for some reason. I don't know if it's their water supply or their air supply or what it is, but that's pretty fantastic.
It's all those oil wells they're fracking up there.
Maybe that's what it is. But folks, we are living longer. People used to pass on at age 70. Then we got up to about 80, and it's getting to 90 now.
They don't have to worry about outliving their money up there because they got all that oil money coming in.
There you go.
They want to make sure they don't leave any of that behind.
But folks, nobody has an expiration stamp on their foot that says when we're going to pass on. Just be prepared. Have enough cash flow so that you don't run out of money, even if you live into your 90s. And if you got money left over, and if you did a reverse mortgage, guess what? That money goes to the heirs. Don't be hesitant. Call us at 877-528-4429. Talk to Norman, talk to me, talk to one of the other loan officers, and find out what your situation is. Tell us about it, and we'll tell you what you're eligible for. There's no obligation. There's no cost in doing this. Why would you not want to know? Why would you not want to eliminate your house payment? Why would you not want more tax-free money in your bank account? Folks, if you can think of an answer to those questions other than, gee, I guess I would want that, call us. Call us at 877-528-4429 and let us help you.
Hey, Fred, we're going to have a workshop July 23rd at Abuelo's in Hurst, Texas, and we're going to have one on July 28th. We're going to cover Social Security benefits and when to take them and how much money you can get. if you're divorced or you've been remarried, how are you going to draw Social Security there? How to reduce taxes on your Social Security. Retirement options. We're going to cover your 401k, 403b, thrift savings plans. Hey, we're going to talk about reverse mortgages too. And we're going to talk about all the things you can prepare yourself for to avoid probate issues.
You can lower probate. You can lower taxes. You can have more cash in your bank account. Folks, call Norman at 877-528-4429. Make reservations for that seminar, or at least talk to us on the phone and get some help.
That's so true. Give us a call and book. Those seats are filling up. We're already getting requests from folks from last week when we announced this. It won't take long. You got to have a reservation to attend because that room we only restricted to about 32 people. Here's some of the things that we will offer you. Is if you sit down with me, we're going to find out how to maximize your yields and minimize any risk. We're going to give you ways to improve your liquidity, safety on your assets, keeping you in control of your retirement. That's a very big issue. How to avoid probate on a lot of the issues. We'll cover that in a workshop. And we're going to protect your life savings from catastrophic illness. So reduction in taxation. Federal, you would like to figure out how to reduce taxes, would you?
I would. I think most people would. And I'm going to tell you, folks, one of the things I learned in Norman's seminar, just because my wife and I have a joint accounts, if something happened to me, do you know she may not be able to access that money? And while I was in that seminar with Norman, he told me what to do on our accounts to make sure she could access that money if I got incapacitated or something happened to me.
Well, if you both were killed or in a car wreck at the same time, you need to know how to set that account up so that money doesn't have to go through probate.
Absolutely, folks. You can't lose by calling us, folks. You can only lose if you don't call us and you don't get the information. It's free. It's information other people pay thousands of dollars for. Why would you not want to call 877-528-4429 and get onto a life and a better retirement? Y'all have a good time. I hope you have a great week. Remember to call us and talk to us.
And keep it between the white lines out there.
You've been listening to The Reverse Mortgage Hour with Norman Williams and Fred Wells. Join us next week for more information about how a reverse mortgage can help you here on KAAM.
Norman Williams is a mortgage broker for Senior Reverse Mortgage Services, NMLS number 257913. Not every reverse mortgage case is the same. Factors can alter the end result. This program is for information only and offers no promise of a binding acceptance by Senior Reverse Mortgage Services or any lender for a reverse mortgage. Each customer and case file is handled on an individual basis according to HUD FHA rules.
The views expressed in the preceding program were those of the speakers and not necessarily those of KAAM, TJRD Broadcasting, or its sponsors.